This is a square knot, and in this video I'm going to show you three things. First, I'm going to show you how to tie the square knot. Then I'm going to show you how you can check to make sure that you've tied it correctly. And then finally I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the uses and a couple facts about this square knot. So let's look at how to tie it first. So you get the two ends of your rope. This is all part of the same rope. And the thing to remember for tying a square knot is that it's right over left, left over right. So what that means is I'm going to take the end of my right rope, put it over my left, and then I'm going to do a single twist like so. So that's my right over left. And then I'm going to do left over right, where I'm doing the same thing but the other direction. My left rope over my right rope, twist it, and then pull together, and you have yourself a square knot. All right, let's run that back one more time, make sure we've got it right. All right, we're gonna go right over left, twist, and then we're gonna go left over right, twist, and then you have your square knot. So now let's talk about how you can check to make sure you've tied it correctly. So one of the fundamental things about how a square knot is shaped is it's two loops coming together. So if you can do this and you have two parallel lines coming out of each loop like so, then you're looking like you probably have a square knot. Another thing that you can check is that the ends of your shorter rope, or the working ends of your rope, are both on the same side of the knot. So you can see that the short ends of my rope in both cases are on this side where my fingers are pointing. All right, so those are two ways that you can check you've got it right. If you've tied it incorrectly, I'm gonna bring another rope in here and show you a common mistake on the square knot. This is what is called the granny knot. And this is a common mistake that people make when tying a square knot. And what happens here is people, instead of going right over left, left over right, they'll do the same thing twice. So for example, they might go right over right and then right over right. And then you get something like this, and it clearly looks different from the square knot, and that's not what you want. So this is a common mistake called the granny knot. A couple facts and interesting things about the square knot. This is a binding knot. So how you're going to use the square knot is, first of all, for binding small things together, small packages. It's used, for example, in tying up sails. It's also used in medicine or first aid for tying up bandages, or you can use it to tie up small packages or bundles of things to keep them together. However, it's important to note that a square knot should not be used as a bend. So it's a binding knot, B-I-N-D, not a bend knot, B-E-N-D. And a bend knot is used for tying two ropes together, okay? And so a square knot doesn't do that well, especially if you're using two different sizes or kinds of rope. It has a tendency to break the knot. And so especially if you're gonna put it under tension, a square knot is not the type of knot you wanna use if you want to attach two ropes together. Instead, you should use a proper bend, such as a sheet bend, or another one of the actual bend knots. So that's a couple things about the square knot. And if you have found this helpful, we actually have a video that's about the 3 first knots that you should learn as a beginner to knot tying. And we're gonna put a link here in the video. It should be in the upper right. If not, it's in the description. And there in that video, you can learn all about the 3 first knots that you should learn when it comes to knot tying.